let's look at setting up a partial fraction decomposition and actually solving the whole thing. So we're going to do step 1, which is to set it up. So we have x plus 14 on top, and in our denominator we have two linear factors, x minus 4 and x plus 2. So to set this up, we're going to say a over our first linear factor, which is x minus 4, plus, and then b over our second linear factor, which is x plus 2. The next step I want to do is I want to get rid of all my denominators. So what we're going to do is we're going to multiply this whole thing by x minus 4 and x plus 2. What that does is eliminate this denominator, leaving me with x plus 14. When I multiply a times these two factors, the x minus 4 will cancel, and it'll leave me with a and an x plus 2. Plus. Now let's multiply the b term. b, when I multiply, the x plus 2 will cancel, so it will leave me with b and an x minus 4. The next thing I want to do is distribute my a and my b, because what we want to do is collect all our terms that have x's and collect all our terms that don't have x's. So once we do this, we get ax plus 2a plus bx minus 4b. Now I'm going to reorganize this so all my x's are together. So I have ax plus bx, so you see there's my first group with my x's, plus 2a and a minus 4b. And here's my second group of constants. So now let's look at what we have here and what we have here. Well, one more thing, sorry. So I have x plus 14, and I'm going to write a 1 in front of this x because it's understood that there's a 1 there. What we're going to do is we're going to factor out this x. Since they both have it in common, we're going to factor it out. If we factor it out, I'm going to be left with a plus b, and then we pulled out the x. 2a minus 4b, you can just leave it like that. I write it like this. If you want to factor out 2, you can, but we're going to use our calculator to solve these. Excuse me, to solve these in just a minute. So now I have it set up so I can write a system of equations. Notice that 1x and this go together, positive 14, and this piece go together. So what this is telling me is that a plus b is equal to 1, and 14 is equal to the second part, which is 2a minus 4b. So 2a minus 4b equals 14. And there is my system of equations I want to solve, because we want to know what does a equal and what does b equal. So we're going to use our calculator to solve this because we're not in algebra anymore. We should be able to solve. I trust that you can solve a system. If you want to solve this system by hand, you may, and you can see here I already worked it out earlier. Let's clear this out so we can start fresh. What we want to do is we want to solve this system. So what we're going to do is we're going to press menu, algebra, and then we're going to press solve system. These are linear equations. We have two equations, and the variables we're going to use are a and b. So then I write my equations. A plus b equals 1. 2a minus 4b equals 14. And there it is. It tells me a is 3 and b is negative 2. A is 3, b is negative 2. So how does this work for my final answer, right? Our final answer, we go back to our original setup here where we said a over x minus 4. Now we know a equals 3. So we get 3 over x minus 4. B is negative 2, so this plus is going to become a minus b over x plus 2. And there it is, the partial decomposition of x plus 14 over x minus 4, x plus 2.